Hey, this is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about debt collection companies some are getting very lazy when suing people in court because the default rate is like out of this world where people don't even show up to court. I'm not going to specifically talk about it because I want them to be lazy and I don't want them to know that that when they are lazy, that it makes it even easier to have the case dismissed. As a matter of fact, they will outright dismiss it. I can tell you in the complaint, I'm not going to specifically say what it is in the complaint, but I could tell you one part of it is that they are shortening the complaints. And then I'm not going to get specific on that, but there's I'm starting to notice that. Also, I noticed, now I can speak on this because there's nothing that they'll ever be able to do with this because they don't have access to the information. So one of the things that you have a right to get when you're being sued by a debt collector, third-party debt collector who has purchased a debt, is that they have to give you the information to prove where that they purchased a portfolio. And so what they'll do is they'll send you these sheets, and what I'll do is I'll kind of fold this. So you see where it says redacted. You can see it says redacted on there. Redacted. And so what they try to do is to really fool the court is they'll unredact certain information, but there's certain information that they never get. They never get the complete account number. And then even with that, before I credit this to what I've been doing, the good work that I've been doing, before they wouldn't even send this information to people. You can look at one of my videos, go to my channel and look at my video. And when you go there, you better subscribe to my channel because this is some great information. There's a video I made years ago where I talked about that they have to give you the information. And this is what I learned from something that happened to me way back in the 90s when I was in the military, really in the 80s, the late 80s, where I had a credit card account that they tried to claim that I owed $4,000 on it. And I know back when I was in the military, 18 years old, that I never had that amount of credit. I never did. The most was $150. And I said I did not have that because I wasn't going to pay no $4,500. And what they did is they had ballooned it up from the original amount. But when I made that request in court, they sent me a stack of all of these unredacted accounts. Like, they only sent a few pages to this individual. To me, when I did it, it was this tall. They were like, they gave it all to me, and it had a little line. Everything was blacked out except for my name on there. And because I didn't know what I know now, I ended up settling on that account for $500. And the judge was like, you're fortunate. What it was that I had, at that time, this was way before the credit repair shop. At that time, I had, made a challenge that I didn't even know about was my legal right, which was to challenge all of the information regardless of what they gave me. And they gave me the stack of it. And then they also, at that time, the attorney that was there the first time in court was not there. It was the attorney whose name is on the sign for that debt collection company. So this was the main attorney. He came to court, and then we sat and we negotiated, and I paid $500 on a debt that I shouldn't have had even paid anything on due to statute of limitations. But that's said and done. That experience helped me be able to help people like you. So they're getting lazy. They're sending the information that is redacted that'll show the amount, and that stuff, but this still does not show the complete information to prove that the account belongs to the individual. They're still sending over a few statements and stuff like that, but they are getting lazy. This one here, I mean, I don't want to count before it happens, but I believe that we're going to be victorious. Now, here is the, for this video, we're going to be talking about, and this is straight from the debt collectors. Don't ask me how I get this. Don't ask me how I get it. I'm not a debt collector, but I get information from debt collector groups. And this article or information that they sent me talked about how debt collectors can get around the robocalling. Because, see, according to the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, they cannot call you with robocalls. But this here, this information that was revealed or sent over, shows how it says, don't worry about the Fdcpa statute or the laws on restricting you from using robocalls. We're going to tell you how you can do it. So here it is here. Here are the primary provisions of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act for debt collectors calling people. Number one, you can't call outside of 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. local time, nor can calls be placed during the times that might be seen as inconvenient to the person being contacted, like work or holidays or weekends. Third-party collectors must cease calling a debtor if they receive written notice that the debtor no longer wishes to be contacted or they refuse to pay the debt. You hear that? Litigation is an exception. So if you're going to sue them, then you can notify them one last time. But after that, it's just going to be handled through the court. It prohibits repeated calling a number where there's no pickups. How many times have you been called by debt collectors and they keep calling even though you disregard their calls? Calls may not be made to someone known to be represented by an attorney. So if you tell them that an attorney is representing you, they can't keep calling you. Also, if you give power of attorney to someone that's like a credit repair company, like what we have, we can take the calls. They can't call you anymore. Calls may not be made to someone's place of employment if deemed inappropriate by the employer. That's a hard one, because if the employer is, saying, hey, you got this call about a debt, what are you going to do about it? Prohibits threats and dishonesty, such as a claim a debt is owed when in fact it is not. Who would want to do that? But they can do that when if it's a debt that they're trying to collect and it's past legal statute of limitations, and they try to call you and they say this is a time-barred debt, they still might, try to get away with doing it. We see that all the time. Prohibits seeking unreasonable amounts, and also prohibits the use of profanity, abusive language when calling. Of course, no profanity, but abusive language is stating things like, why don't you pay your bills? That simple term for them saying that is considered abusive language. And prohibits false reporting of information on the credit reports. So now, learn how auto dialers software can help prevent Fdcpa violations. Call center that use an auto dialer software puts themselves in a better position to adhere to the Fdcpa requirements. For starters, auto dialers softwares won't continue to call the same person back over and over again. They call once, you'll act accordingly with whether or not they pick up the phone, and they won't be called again until you start running through your list again. They're telling you how to do that, or not at all if you remove them from the list for any reason. An auto dialer will only call the number that you've loaded into the system. If there's a reason not to call a debtor to avoid the Fdcpa violation, all you have to do is remove the phone number from your list. The next one, auto dialer software, like, and I'm not going to mention the company, can also help keep notes about a particular client during and following a call. If someone asks not to be contacted again or refuses to pay a debt, you can make a note of that and report it back to the powers that be. With the notes always handy, you're much less likely to accidentally call someone who doesn't wish to be contacted any longer. Which this is, debt collectors always have this, when they load them in for their agents to call people, they know the list of people that's going to call. All they're doing is they're just showing, hey, you can replace some of the people that are in your office and, use our software. So this is the way that they're, trying to tell debt collectors, these are some of the ways that you can get away with it. So if you reverse everything that I just told you, reverse it, and you can see how debt collectors are actually violating, but they're, using auto dialer. See, one of the other big issues with auto dialer is that an auto dialer, they cannot call you. They use these auto dialers just to even see if it's a live number. This is not like they don't be fooled by them just saying, hey, we're using these auto dialers to get in contact with people to see what's going on with the debt. The auto dialer allows them to buy more debt, to buy more of it, and then they throw it in there rather than having their reps where they have to pay them on an hourly wage. They can say, okay, let's see what numbers are live, and then off of what numbers are live, we're going to move those over to the live reps and have them start calling and putting pressure on people. So don't fall for what they're saying. All you have to do is flip it around and say, well, why would you want to use the software to call people, and why would you want to use it to call numbers that you maybe don't know if it's their number? Because this is how they're weeding out bad numbers and trying to get to the live people. This is just what they're doing. So I wanted to get that information over to you. Be wary of debt collector calls. They cannot contact you if you tell them not to call you. They cannot hit your DMs if you tell them don't contact me that way. The power is in your hands, but you have to use it. All right, if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, where you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. That's the way that we do it. We're not going to do credit repair anybody else's way or your way. If you sign up with us, you're going to do it. We're going to do it our way. If you need your credit reports and scores, please go to the website, your3scores.com. Grab all 3 reports, all 3 scores, and if you decide to work with us, we'll work with you. And if you go there and get them, we will also do a free review to let you know how we can help you. And then if you have debt collectors calling you or contacting you, grab my 3-pack of letters, my cease and desist collecting activities letter, my debt validation letter, and statute of limitations letter. Thank you for your time. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Post your comments. I'll be in there answering those. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.